aspire to a clean career, leaving no shame for descendants. Hello everyone. Welcome to Encountering Chinese Case Stories. Cases judged by Bao Gong. Today, I'm going to bring you a story called The Keys. In Chaozhou Prefecture, there were three good friends: Zhou Shilong, Liu Balian, and Wang Zhichen. They were as close as brothers, bound by deep friendship. Later, Wang Zhichen and Zhou Shilong, recommended by their village, embarked on a journey together to the capital city to participate in the imperial examination. Upon boarding the ship, Zhou Shilong appeared melancholy, to which Wang Zhichen comforted him, saying, "As men, we should have lofty aspirations. This separation is only temporary, so why be so saddened by it?" Zhou Shilong replied, "It's not about this. My wife at home is already 7 months pregnant, and if you calculate, she is due to give birth in January. That's why I'm worried about her." Wang Zhichen reassured him, saying, "My wife is in the same situation. Good people have divine assistance, and they will surely give birth safely. You don't need to worry too much." Zhou Shilong continued, "We have been classmates since childhood, and we both recently passed the provincial examination. Today, our wives are both pregnant at the same time. Such a coincidence must not be accidental. If you don't mind, in the future, if we have only boys, they will be called brothers. If we have one boy and one girl, let them become husband and wife. What do you think?" Wang Zhichen agreed, saying, "I couldn't ask for more." So, the two ordered their servants to bring wine and celebrated together. From then on, their relationship became even closer. After the imperial examination in the capital city ended, Zhou Shilong passed the exam while Wang Zhichen did not, so Wang Zhichen had to return home first. Zhou Shilong personally escorted him to the city outskirts and entrusted him, saying, "I have a letter for my family. Please take it back for me, and I also request your help in managing my family affairs." Wang Zhichen replied, "I will definitely take care of your family affairs, so don't worry. Just focus on preparing for the palace examination and strive to come out on top." With tears in their eyes, the two bid farewell to each other. When Wang Zhichen returned home, he learned that his wife, Wei, had given birth to a son named Xiaodong on the 15th day of the first lunar month. Wei also mentioned that Mrs. Zhou had given birth to a daughter named Xiongyu on the same day. Delighted by this news, Wang Zhichen promptly delivered Zhou Shilong's letter to his home. Zhou Shilong's wife, Li, had already received the news of her husband's success in the examination. Now, receiving the letter confirming their agreement, she hosted a banquet to welcome Wang Zhichen warmly, who returned home happily after drinking. From then on, Wang Zhichen devoted himself wholeheartedly to helping Zhou Shilong manage his family affairs, without any selfish motives. Several months later, Zhou Shilong returned home with the appointment of a county magistrate. He chose an auspicious day to invite his good friend Liu Balian to witness the agreement between the two families. Wang Zhichen brought a golden inlaid jade rui as an engagement gift for the future daughter-in-law, while Zhou Shilong presented a jade hairpin as a return gift. Afterwards, Zhou Shilong went to take up his post, but he and Wang Zhichen continued to exchange letters regularly, greeting each other every month. Although Wang Zhichen did not pass several imperial examinations, he still obtained a position as a magistrate's assistant in Songjiang Prefecture. Later, when Wang Zhichen fell seriously ill, he wrote a farewell letter to Zhou Shilong. Besides bidding him farewell, the letter repeatedly urged Zhou Shilong to take care of his son properly. Subsequently, Wang Zhichen passed away at his official residence. Zhou Shilong, who was on an inspection tour in Nanjing, received the news of his friend's death and was deeply saddened. He immediately went to Wang Zhichen's official residence to pay his respects. Wang Zhichen, known for his integrity, did not amass much wealth in his lifetime. Therefore, Zhou Shilong presented 100 taels of silver to Wang Zhichen's family. He also arranged for transportation along the way to bring Wang Zhichen's body back to his hometown for burial. After the funeral, Zhou Shilong wanted to bring Wang Zhichen's son, Qiao Dong, to continue his education. However, Qiao Dong declined, saying, "My father's mourning period has not yet ended, and my mother is widowed and our family is poor. As a son, how can I leave home at this time?" Impressed by Qiao Dong's filial piety, Zhou Shilong often provided financial assistance and instructed him to study hard. Nevertheless, the Wang family continued to struggle financially. When Qiao Dong passed the examination for the district academy at the age of 14, Zhou Shilong was very pleased and sent someone to congratulate him. Since then, Qiao Dong has been focused solely on studying, and the family's financial situation has become increasingly impoverished. Zhou Shilong rose to the position of counselor and later retired, returning to his hometown. Upon learning of his return, Qiao Dong and Liu Balian went to congratulate him. However, they were both poorly dressed and happened to encounter local officials who came to visit at the same time. Zhou Shilong felt somewhat ashamed and displeased at the sight. By this time, Qiao Dong was 16 years old, so he entrusted Liu Balian to go to the Zhou Shilong's family to propose marriage, deciding to choose an auspicious day for the wedding. However, Zhou Shilong said, "Although I and Wang Zhichen had arranged a marriage between our children, we have not completed the necessary formalities. While Qiao Dong comes from a prestigious family, my daughter is also a young lady of wealth. Both families are not ordinary households. Therefore, if we are to proceed with the wedding, it must be done according to formal customs." Upon hearing this, Qiao Dong replied, "Uncle Zhou, you are aware of my family's current poverty. Why do you still want to make things difficult for me? I will strive hard. If I am fortunate enough to succeed, then we can discuss marriage." After speaking, he did not mention the matter again. One day, Zhou Shilong said to his wife, "Our daughter has grown up and it's about time for her to get married." His wife replied, "Some time ago, Qiao Dong came to propose marriage. Although his family is poor, we only have one daughter. Why not let him marry into our family? This way, we can have the best of both worlds, and we won't have to insist on him preparing a bride price." Zhou Shilong said, "I'm afraid Qiao Dong will just end up being a poor scholar in the future. With my status, how can I allow a poor scholar to be my son-in-law? I knew he couldn't come up with a bride price, that's why I deliberately made things difficult for him. Besides, he seems shamelessly arrogant. Wait another year, and I'll have Liu Balian go talk to him." If he still can't come up with a bride price, I'll give him 100 taels of silver and tell him to find another wife. I'll then choose a husband from a prestigious family for our daughter again to ensure her happiness." Zhou's wife said. Although Qiao Dong is currently poor, he loves studying and will surely achieve something in the future. Even though his father has passed away, our families have had an agreement for a long time. How can we change the engagement because of this? Zhou Shilong confidently said. You don't know, I have my own ways. Unexpectedly, Qiongyu happened to overhear her parents' conversation from behind the screen. The next day, Qiongyu was in the backyard admiring the flowers with her maid, Dangui, when suddenly she saw Qiao Dong passing by outside the garden wall. Pointing at Qiao Dong, Dangui said to Qiongyu, "That's the young master Wang whom you are engaged to." Qiongyu noticed that although Qiao Dong's clothes were worn, he had a graceful demeanor, which secretly delighted her. She then made plans with Dangui to visit the garden again the next day. On the same day, Qiao Dong also saw the girl in the garden, who was as beautiful as a flower, and he speculated that she must be Qiongyu. He silently resolved to come back and see her again the next day. The next day, they met again. Qiongyu asked Dangui to call out for Qiao Dong, but Qiao Dong, fearing to be seen by others, hesitated to approach the garden. After repeated calls from Dangui, Qiao Dong slowly came closer. When he reached the garden wall, Qiongyu asked Dangui to open a small door and secretly relayed her father's words to Qiao Dong. Qiao Dong responded, "Our marriage was arranged by my father before he passed away. Although I am poor now, I will never accept the 100 taels of silver to annul our engagement. But if you wish to obey your father's wishes, I will respect your decision." Qiongyu replied, "Even though my father made that decision, I will never obey him. You focus on your studies, and I will wait for you to marry me. Come back tonight, I have something else to tell you. For now, you should leave." Qiao Dong returned home and, when it was late at night, he went to the garden gate again and saw Dangui waiting there. Dangui said to him, "My young lady asks you to come in for a talk." Qiao Dong hesitated, saying, "I'm worried that if Uncle Zhou finds out, it will cause trouble for your young lady." Dangui replied, "Master and Madam have already gone to bed. It's fine to go in now." Still hesitant, Qiao Dong was urged by Dangui to enter. Inside, wine and food were already prepared, and Qiongyu and Qiao Dong sat down together to drink. Qiao Dong couldn't restrain himself and wanted to sleep with Qiongyu, but she firmly refused, saying, "Our meeting today is out of sympathy for your poverty, not out of desire. If we sleep together today, what irreversible consequences will occur at the wedding?" Qiao Dong said, "Indeed, I dare not insist on this matter, but what will you do if your father wants to marry you to someone else?" Qiongyu replied, "Even if my father forces me to marry someone else, I will never agree. As the ancient saying goes, once a promise is made, it cannot be easily changed." Qiao Dong said, "Although you can do this, I'm afraid you will still yield to Uncle Zhou's power." Qiongyu said, "If my father forces me to remarry, then I would rather die." So, the two held each other's hands, made a solemn oath to the heavens, and then drank together again. Late into the night, Qiongnu, being young and having drunk too much, gradually became drowsy and fell asleep, forgetting to let Qiaodong leave. Dangui said, "My young lady hasn't bid you farewell yet. There may still be things to discuss. Please sit for a moment longer, and leave when she wakes up." As Qiaodong looked at Qiongnu, he found her as beautiful as a begonia flower. Overwhelmed with emotion, he embraced her and they fell asleep together. At that moment, Qiongnu, feeling slightly more awake, said to Qiaodong, "I became somewhat indiscreet in front of you due to my drunkenness." Qiaodong requested to sleep with her, and in her flustered state, Qiongnu could not refuse, so they shared the same bed. As dawn broke, they both got up. Qiongnu gave Qiaodong 3 pieces of silk, a pair of gold bracelets, and several silver hairpins as parting gifts. Before they parted, she instructed him to come again the next day. From then on, every evening, Qiaodong would come to see Qiongnu, and this continued for over 2 months. One night, Qiaodong couldn't go out because his mother was sick, so Dangui waited alone at the door for a long time. Suddenly, she heard footsteps and whispered, "Young Master Wang is here." Unexpectedly, the person who came was the local ruffian Jinghai. He sneaked in, and upon seeing the thief, Dangui hurriedly ran into the house. Jinghai chased after her, and despite her attempts to scream, he drew his knife and killed her. Qiongnu wanted to go out and check, but she saw the thief entering and immediately opened the door, running to hide in the hall in the dark. Jinghai entered Qiongnu's room, robbed her belongings, and then left. When it was barely dawn, Qiongnu called her mother and said, "Our house was robbed by a thief." Zishalang asked her why she didn't call for help last night, and Qiongnu replied, "I saw Dangui being killed, so I had to hide in the dark and couldn't dare to scream." When Zhou Shilong went to see, he found Dangui dead at the back door. He asked Qiongnu again, "Why did Dangui die here?" Qiongnu couldn't answer, which made Zhou Shilong suspicious. And from that day on, Qiongnu was too frightened to get out of bed. Zhou Shilong intended to report to the authorities but did not know who the culprit was, so he instructed his servant Mei Wang to inquire around. At this time, Qiaodong urgently needed money to buy medicine for his sick mother, so he took a gold bracelet to the silversmith Rao Gui to exchange for silver. Rao Gui agreed and placed the bracelet aside. Mei Wang happened to pass by and saw the gold bracelet on the silversmith's table. He entered and asked, "Whose property is this?" The silversmith replied, "It was just brought in by Qiaodong to exchange for silver." Mei Wang suggested, "Since you're exchanging for silver, why not sell it to my master now and get some silver directly? Wouldn't that be better?" Rao Gui said, "Qiaodong asked not to reveal whose bracelet it is. You don't need to tell your master either, so as not to anger Qiaodong." So Rao Gui handed the gold bracelet to Mei Wang to take back home. Mei Wang returned and handed the bracelet to Zhou Shilong, who looked at it and said to Mei Wang, "This thing looks like it belongs to our family. Hurry, please invite Madam and Miss to come and confirm." When Zhou's wife came out and looked, she confirmed, "This belongs to our daughter. How did it end up here?" Mei Wang explained, "I found it at the silversmith Rao Gui's place. He said it was brought by Chao Dong to exchange for silver. Zhou Shilong said. So this fellow, because of poverty, has changed his behavior and dared to rob and kill. He then wrote a report and instructed Mei Wang to take it to the authorities. The report stated, for the crime of killing a maid and looting property, accusing Wang Chaodong. The villain Wang Chaodong, the son of my deceased friend, is behaving unscrupulously, ruining the family business. I have been friends with his father and have had dealings with him. Wang Chaodong sneaked into my house late one night this month, killed the maid Dan Gui, and looted the property. The next day, he took the stolen gold bracelet to the silversmith Rao Gui to sell, and Rao Gui can testify to this. Wang Chaodong has committed murder and robbery, disregarding the law of the country. Please investigate the stolen money and rid the people of harm. At this moment, Bao Gong happened to be on his rounds and saw the reports. He took up the case and ordered his bailiffs Zhao Sheng and Sun Yong to arrest Chao Dong. Chao Dong also prepared his own petition the next day to plead his innocence. The petition read, my father lived a clean and honest life until his death, never engaging in corrupt practices. As his son, I have been raised under his teachings and would never tarnish his good name. During his lifetime, my father arranged a marriage between me and the daughter of Zhou Shilong, Qiongyu, as agreed with her father. However, my father-in-law, Zhou Shilong, now wishes to terminate the engagement due to my poverty, using the lack of a betrothal gift as an excuse to trouble me. Qiongyu has shown deep affection for me, privately helping me with financial difficulties and even gifting me her bracelet, silver hairpins, and silk. The situation became complicated due to the attack on Zhou Shilong's house by bandits. I request Bao Gong to investigate my innocence. Bao Gong held the petition and asked Chao Dong again. If you didn't kill Dan Gui, where did the gold bracelet come from? Chao Dong replied. The gold bracelet was given to me by Miss Qiongyu from the Zhou family. Bao Gong pondered seriously and asked, does this mean you had private meetings with Qiongyu? Chao Dong hastily replied, I dare not. But he glanced around as he spoke, as if afraid of being overheard. Bao Gong immediately understood his implication, and promptly halted the trial, taking Chao Dong to a separate room for questioning. He said, you claim you had no private meetings with Qiongyu, so where did this gold bracelet come from? Chao Dong explained. If I hadn't suffered such a great injustice, would never have mentioned my private meetings with Qiongyu to you. Being together without a formal marriage would be looked down upon. He then proceeded to explain all the details to Bao Gong. Bao Gong said, right now, your testimony alone is insufficient for me to believe you completely. Here's what we'll do. Tomorrow, you will confront Zhou Shilong and repeat your story. Let's see how he handles it. I will also summon Qiongyu to verify your claims. If what you say is true, the case will end, and you can marry immediately. But if it's false, I will sentence you to death. Chao Dong gratefully bowed to Bao Gong, expressing his gratitude. The next day, Bao Gong summoned Chao Dong and Zhou Shilong to confront each other in court. Zhou Shilong said to Bao Gong, Chao Dong is not a good person. Your Honor, please consider the interests of the court and make a fair judgment according to the law. Bao Gong responded, I will execute the law as long as it is reasonable. However, the execution of the law also depends on the specific circumstances of the case. Chao Dong's father was also an official, and he must have received a good education. Why do you rush to conclude in this manner? He then called Chao Dong and said, Wang Chao Dong, your father was an upright official, but now you have become a thief and bandit. Do you have no qualms about this? Chao Dong defended himself, saying, I am a scholar who upholds the principles of poetry and ritual. How could I possibly commit such acts? Bao Gong countered. If it wasn't you, then where did your belongings come from? Chao Dong replied. They were given to me by Zhou Shilong's daughter, not obtained through robbery. Zhou Shilong retorted. Clearly, you are in the wrong and have no defense, yet you seek to shift the blame onto my daughter. Bao Gong asked Chao Dong. Zhou's daughter usually stays indoors. How could she give you these belongings? Chao Dong explained, there is a reason behind it. Bao Gong pressed. What reason? Explain it in detail. Chao Dong addressed both of them, saying, In the spring of March, I happened to pass by Zhou's garden due to some business. Coincidentally, Miss Zhou and her maid Dan Gui were there admiring the flowers. After a long stare between Miss Zhou and me, we each left separately. The next day, I passed by again, and Miss Zhou was already there. Miss Zhou asked Dan Gui to call me into the garden, saying that her parents had discussed canceling our engagement. They wanted me to bring witness Liu Balian to discuss it and offer 100 taels of silver as compensation for breaking the engagement. However, Zhou's wife disagreed. Miss Zhou saw my shabby appearance and invited me to meet her in the evening. I went as agreed, and Dan Gui was waiting at the door. Miss Zhou even hosted a banquet for me and eventually gave me a pair of gold bracelets, several pairs of silver hairpins, and 3 pieces of silk. Due to financial constraints, I didn't have silver to buy medicine for my elderly mother, so I took the gold bracelet to the silversmith to exchange for silver, but it was seen by Zhou's servant, Mei Wang. As for the killing of Dan Gui, I truly know nothing about it. I hope Your Honor, with your compassionate heart and considering my father was an upright official and my mother is currently ill, will vindicate me, apprehend the real culprit as soon as possible. Bao Gong said. In that case, it means that Mr. Zhou, you have also failed to properly control your daughter, and you cannot push all the blame onto Wang Chao Dong. Zhou Shilong said. He is just talking nonsense. My daughter behaves with dignity. How could she possibly do such a thing? Bao Gong said. If not, let your daughter testify in court to prove her innocence. Chao Dong said, if Miss Zhou can explain things clearly to me face to face, even if it costs me my life, I will have no regrets. Zhou Shilong was puzzled, thinking, if this matter is fabricated, how did Chao Dong know what I said to my wife? But if it's true, it will be difficult to handle later, and it will be losing face. What should I do then? Bao Gong said angrily. As a former official, why didn't you conduct a detailed investigation? Zhou Shilong was provoked and said, I know my daughter best. Besides, it's not uncommon for people in poor circumstances to resort to robbery. Bao Gong said, I'm afraid you're worried that what Wang Chaodong said is true and will affect your reputation. If he's making it up, what difference does it make if your daughter confirms it? Zhou Shilong was speechless and could only send his servant Mei Wang to fetch Miss Zhou. Mei Wang immediately went back and informed Zhou's wife, who then went to inform her daughter. Miss Zhou thought to herself, if I don't testify for Chaodong, he probably won't be able to seek justice for himself. Mei Wang urged again. Bao Gong is waiting for Miss to attend the trial. Reluctantly, Miss Zhou boarded the sedan chair and went to the court. When she got off the sedan chair, she saw Bao Gong. Bao Gong said, Wang Chaodong claims that you gave him the gold bracelet. Your father says it was stolen loot. The two contradict each other. Tell the truth. Miss Zhou was too shy to speak. Chaodong said to Miss Zhou, since we have feelings for each other, what's the harm in you speaking up? How can you bear to push me to the brink of death? Due to her youth, Miss Zhou remained shy and did not respond. Bao Gong angrily pounded the chessboard and scolded Chaodong. This guy is despicable. He talks about Confucianism, but behaves like a thief. Now he wants to fabricate testimony to deceive me. I'll give you 40 lashes now and then question you about a capital offense. Chaodong collapsed to the ground, crying, and said to Qiongyu, Miss Zhou, if we hadn't done that in the first place, I wouldn't be in this situation now. Are our vows that night now meaningless? I don't mind dying, but I still have a mother at home. Who will take care of her in the future? Miss Zhou lowered her head in tears and said, the gold bracelet was indeed given by me to Wang Chaodong, and he is not the one who killed Dan Gui. As for the thief who broke into the room, under the light, I caught a glimpse of his appearance. He was older and had a beard. Bao Gong smiled and said, that's reasonable. I'll exempt Wang Chaodong from the lashes for now. Chaodong stood up ecstatically and knelt beside Miss Zhou. Seeing Chaodong's disheveled hair, Miss Zhou approached him and tidied it up. Upon witnessing the interaction between the two, Zhou Shilong grew angry and said, this girl must have been frightened and confused, unable to see clearly what happened that day, hence spouting nonsense. Miss Zhou had already clarified the situation, but seeing her father's anger, she dared not speak further. Bao Gong said to Zhou Shilong, if your daughter was indeed confused and unable to see clearly, then as an observant elder, shouldn't you have made a clear judgment yourself and condemned Wang Chaodong to death? Moreover, Dan Gui was the matchmaker for Wang Chaodong. How could he bear to kill her? Zhou Shilong replied, my daughter is still young. How could those plots from romance novels happen to her? Bao Gong said, actually, when she arrived, I already knew about the relationship between the two. Didn't you notice that your daughter's hair was styled as that of a married woman? Why bother arguing further? Zhou Shilong was speechless and ashamed, saying, I know I was wrong. I rely on Bao Gong to handle it according to the law. Bao Gong said, according to my handling, since there was already an engagement between you and Wang Chaodong's father, and since Chaodong and Qiongyu love each other, why not let them marry early? Zhou Shilong said, according to Chaodong, although he didn't directly kill Dan Gui, he indirectly caused her death. We must first find the robbers and confirm Qiaodong's innocence. Bao Gong replied. That's not difficult. I will catch the robbers within 7 days. By then, we will arrange for your daughter and Qiaodong to marry. Zhou Shilong, feeling helpless and furious, left the yamen. Bao Gong then instructed Qiaodong and Qiongyu to return home respectively. That night, Qiaodong returned home and lit incense candles, praying to his father. Your son has unfortunately been caught up in this calamity and wrongly accused. The robbers still haven't been found, and the matter remains unresolved. Father, if your spirit does indeed exist, please give me some guidance. After finishing his prayers, Qiaodong went to bed to sleep. Meanwhile, Bao Gong, while reviewing the case files, felt deeply tired and eventually fell into a deep slumber. In his dream, he saw a dignified old man who bowed to him and said, "My son is truly lacking in progress, causing Bao Gong trouble. Please make sure to catch the robbers. Bring them to justice." Bao Gong suddenly woke up, with the word, robber, echoing in his mind. He searched through past cases, looking for individuals with a history of robbery in the local area. Early the next morning, Bao Gong ascended the court and once again summoned Wang Qiaodong, saying, "Last night, I dreamt of your father, who told me about the robbers. Do you know of any well-known released robbers around here?" Wang Qiaodong was pondering when a bailiff in the courtroom overheard Bao Gong's words and replied, "Our former magistrate, Mr. Liu, once captured a robber named Zhu Xingba. Later, Mr. Liu, considering him a first-time offender, tattooed his arm and released him." Bao Gong remarked, "This person could very well be related to the case." Therefore, Bao Gong dispatched the bailiff to bring Zhu Xingba to the yamen for interrogation. The bailiff arrived at Zhu Xingba's door just as he was about to leave. He seized Zhu Xingba, chained him with iron shackles, and escorted him to Bao Gong. Bao Gong interrogated Zhu Xingba. "You scoundrel, daring to murder and rob in the dead of night, yet still brazenly strutting around." Zhu Xingba defended himself. "I have always obeyed the law and never committed robbery or murder." Bao Gong retorted, "If you've always obeyed the law, why did the former magistrate tattoo your arm?" Zhu Xingba claimed, "That was a mistake by Mr. Liu. After the mistake was rectified, I was released." Bao Gong stated, "You were released last time because it was your first offense. Now, for killing a maid and robbing, you will receive 40 lashes. Tell the truth quickly, or you may be spared further punishment." Zhu Xingba continued to plead innocent. Suddenly, Bao Gong noticed 2 keys on his waist and ordered them to be retrieved. Bao Gong then sent 2 bailiffs to Zhu Xingba's house, instructing them to tell his wife, "Your husband has been summoned by Bao Gong today. He has confessed to robbing the Zhou family's property. Now, we have brought these 2 keys to have you open the chest and verify its contents. This is not a serious crime. You only need to open the chest and return the stolen items according to the inventory provided by Zhou Shilong." Zhu Xingba's wife, believing it to be true, opened the chest and indeed found the items listed by Zhou Shilong. The bailiffs then carried the stolen items to the court, leaving Zhu Xingba speechless and shocked. Unable to argue further, he confessed. That night, I happened to pass by the Zhou family's garden gate and overheard Dan Gui saying, "The young master is here." I rushed in, and in a moment of panic when she tried to scream, I killed her and indeed robbed the house. Bao Gong immediately ordered Zhou Shilong to the yamen to confirm all the missing items, then allowed him to take them back home. Finally, Bao Gong rendered the verdict. After thorough investigation, Zhu Xingba, a habitual thief, has been found guilty of both theft and murder. Despite being previously marked by the authorities, he has persisted in his criminal activities. By killing the maid Dan Gui and robbing the household, he not only committed these heinous acts but also falsely accused Wang Chaodong. Now that the stolen items have been recovered, the case can be closed. Zhu Xingba is sentenced to death according to the law. As for Zhou Shilong, due to his lax supervision of his daughter, which led to the clandestine meeting between Qiongyu and Wang Chaodong, ultimately resulting in the death of the maid, and nearly causing wrongful accusation against Wang Chaodong, he should also be held accountable under the law. However, considering his advanced age, the punishment should be appropriately mitigated. Wang Chaodong, being innocent yet subjected to unjust treatment, all previous penalties against him are hereby revoked. The engagement between Wang Chaodong and Zhou's daughter, Qiongyu, remains valid, and they are ordered to marry immediately. Wang Chaodong was overjoyed and promptly chose an auspicious day to marry Qiongyu. The two lived harmoniously together, honoring and caring for their parents. The following year, Wang Chaodong participated in the imperial examinations, excelled, and was eventually appointed as a Hanlin scholar by the emperor. Alright. Today's case story, The Keys, concludes here. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments and share with others. See you again in the next issue.